Welcome to Spoiler Warning, everyone. We are, of course, the #1 wrestling show, sharing exclusive wrestling news you cannot find anywhere else. And we have some headlines to share with you. Before we jump into that, we have 27 watching, 14 likes. Great start in those numbers. Let's get those likes up, fill the room up, so that we're talking to as many people as possible. Our headlines today, our top story will be the contract status of Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins in the WWE, the expiration date, what the WWE's priorities are, and what the main problems are as to why the deal has not already been struck. We're going to be talking plans for a return for Alexa Bliss, early plans being put in place for around SummerSlam time, but also other plans that are being organised as well. Also, why and how it comes down to actual wrestling themes. Drew McIntyre's deal we're going to talk about, Finn Balor's deal as well, so a lot of returns to talk about. And then we're going to talk about quite a lot of things that there's going to be a lot of rumour killers from Dave Meltzer this week. We're going to talk Sami Zayn losing in the gauntlet match, winning the gauntlet match, Chad Gable losing in the gauntlet match, and how that may change in the days to come. We're going to talk the free agency of Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada and Mercedes Money, which is no longer free agency. We're going to talk about how well received Mercedes Money was in AEW and a little bit about Shayna Baszler in Bloodsport, as well as the possibility of ongoing working relationships between WWE and GCW because, to be blunt, WWE already not particularly happy with the working arrangement that they ended up with. I've also got a few live updates in general, channel update on what we're doing on Twitter at the moment, as well as a little update on the house viewing that I went on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a link directly to the tweet announcing this show in the chat. I'm going to pin it right at the top. If you can, jump in and engage with that tweet in any way, even if you just leave it open in the background, that guarantees more viewership, because people will find it, and if people find that, they may well join us. So, hello everyone, welcome to the show. Let's get to our first piece of news, and after that we'll go straight in with responding to your questions. So our top story is the contract situation ongoing for Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Their contracts right now, as we speak, are actively expiring and will expire soon if no new deal is sorted before June 2024. Pardon me. We are 3 months away from a world in which we do not have Becky Lynch or Seth Rollins on WWE TV. The WWE right now are not considering that the top priority, or in fact the highest priority, of deals that they need to strike. Instead, they are focused on the deal for Drew McIntyre and the deal for Finn Balor, both of which are expected to expire sooner than June. And there are such considered higher priorities. The WWE are confident, after a number of conversations on and off the record with Rollins and Lynch, that it will be a bit of a formality for that deal, but Seth and Becky both are said to have some demands that Nick Khan isn't the happiest about, that he's trying to make changes for. A large part of that, you've guessed it, is limited date deals, meaning less time on the road with the WWE, less live shows as well, and a closer world to where we are with Roman Reigns. In addition to this, Becky and Seth are likely to be kept away from championships for a little while, particularly Becky, as the next generation is pushed. That being your Rhea Ripley's, that being your Bianca Belairs, that also being, at the moment, your CM Punk's when he returns. Seth owes a few favours, and he's expected to have a feud with Gunther if he signs a new deal, one which Gunther is likely to come out of looking fantastic. Becky Lynch's plans aren't finalised, but she's a prominent voice in the creative team in a way that she is said to also want recognised in a new deal. If that can be formalised, that essentially means a second paycheck, and it means she'll still be working without necessarily wrestling. Both Rollins and Lynch are expected to lose at WrestleMania as they move into more legacy, Randy Orton-style positions within the WWE. Rollins versus CM Punk, the match that was planned for this year's WrestleMania, has been abandoned for now, though Rollins versus The Rock is on the table firmly, considering that The Rock is expected to have several more wrestling matches before his deal with WWE does come to an end. But with Punk returning relatively soon, couple of months we'll say around SummerSlam time, he's expected to overtake Seth Rollins. That is causing some friction. Let me know if you want Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins to be signing a new deal with the WWE. I'm going to catch up with the chat, and then we will share some more. So, Spiderball says, hello, Tom. About Booker T's comments about CM Punk, totally unnecessary. CM Punk is still wearing the brace. Booker T's comments about CM Punk were largely humorous or intended that way. It's been blown massively out of proportion. Welcome, Martin. Thank you kindly for renewing your membership on a second channel for a second month. Thank you very much, sir. Spiderball says, I gotta say I'm a happy boy after watching Mercedes Money's AEW debut this Wednesday. Me too. I think they definitely rolled out the red carpet, and I think she'll be very happy with it overall. Jay Palmer says, do you think Seth or Becky will leave WWE and go to AEW? I do not personally. I do think they'll sign new deals. Jess says, I just found this channel last week. This is the first time live. I'm excited. Welcome, Jess. Good to see you. Welcome, and dive in with whatever questions you have. Or lurk, whatever works for you. Daniel says, yo, welcome, Daniel. Callie says, evening, Tom. Evening, Callie. Zane says, is anyone going to watch MLW? Eric says, hi, Tom. How are you, buddy? Doing very well, thank you. Welcome to the show. King Adam says, hey, Tom. I don't see any situation where Roman doesn't walk out of WrestleMania without the championship. That is free negatives in one sentence, which makes it difficult to read. Matthew says, good evening, Tom and chat. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too, Matthew, and a happy weekend to everyone involved. Brad said, let's go and hit and keep chatting. If you haven't yet, please remember to hit that like. We have 77 so far, only 33 likes. What I'd like to do is hit a number that we haven't hit for a long time. I want to try and get to 100 likes again. I would love to do that. It did mean we had huge numbers in previous shows. We've got enough people to make that happen over the course of the show. 35 right now. 5 more gets us to 40. Can we get there? Push if you can. Robin Dave says, hey Tom, how you doing? Doing well, thank you. Eric says, any news on a potential return for Braun Strowman? Not at this point in time. I do need to reach out to certain people and ask questions about that though, and I will do that. Strowman return. Just going to take a note of that. He was very well received when he did return, and the sooner the better for him. Spiderboss says, I know people underestimate Mercedes' mic skills, but her promo on Dynamite was good. AEW Big Business was really good. Sean says, is Jade Cargill going to team up with Bianca and Naomi at Main to face Damage Control? Not that I've heard, but I know you're getting that from a different source. Leon says, hi Tom, hope you're doing well. Doing very well, thank you. William says, hello Tom, do you think we see a stipulation for Rey versus Santos, like mask versus hair? I think that would certainly kick things up a notch. I don't think necessarily we'll get that. I think it's more likely it's for control of LWO or the LWO name or something, which then brings in the next generation if Santos wins. Ken says, hey Tom, do you know what the plans are for Liv Morgan at Mania? Maybe she faces Nia. The plans have entirely changed for Liv Morgan, mostly because Becky Lynch is pushing hard for her backstage and creative, versus Nia Jax was originally going to be Jade Cargill, but WWE doesn't necessarily believe she's ready for that anymore. Liv Morgan might be the one to get the nod. Razar says, hello Tom, aka the most accurate reporter on Mercedes Money. I got a great record on Mercedes Money. Very happy with this one. The first one to report she was in negotiations to sign with AEW. The first one to report she had interest from a WWE deal that was quite expansive. First one to report that she had subsequently signed with AEW. And here we are. There she is. HCast says, any news of The Rock's grandma? Lots of people have reported she's going into the Hall of Fame. All speculation at this point. I've not seen anything official, though it is on the list that I've been looking at. Also on the list that I've been looking at, Bray Wyatt. On the list that I've been looking at, on the list that I've had fed to me, Bray Wyatt gets inducted to the Hall of Fame this year. Spiderboss says, I've always wondered why WWE waits so much to give new contracts for talents like Becky and Seth and Drew. They should get their new deals ASAP. Primarily as a cost-cutting exercise. The idea is if they don't pay for them immediately and sign a new deal later, they won't have to pay the increased revenue yet. Leon says, what are your thoughts on the gigantic Prime logo in the middle of the ring? Ugly as hell, but if you start putting things around it, it might make more sense. I don't know, it's in New Japan. Roger says, will Big E ever be returning? He's working on that as we speak. Jess says, you're telling me Rollins has spent the last year taking shots at Roman's schedule, even though it's what he wants. Yes, and let's be fair. Roman Reigns took shots at Brock Lesnar's schedule. John Cena took shots at The Rock's schedule. Here we are. David wants them to sign. Daniela wants them to sign. Man says, Ian and Tom just driving, so a little lurking. It is hope all good. It is all good, and of course you are welcome while driving, just as long as you are, of course, listening and not watching. I don't want to cause any issues. Mark says, hey Tom, how was your week? Looking forward to the show. The week was good. I'll give a few life updates, particularly as regards the house that I was looking at on Thursday. I'm looking at buying a house. So far, not great. Khalid says, happy to see you again, my friend. Welcome, Khalid. Selvig says, Rollins and Becky will sign new deals, but won't work as much as they used to. That has been my reporting about it. Wiggly says, yo, 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 yo. Jess says, I get it, they have a 3-year-old at home. They do. And eventually, she's going to need to go to school. Martin says, I'm going to ask, before I start driving, will anyone AEW sign move the needle? It's genuinely sad as a wrestling fan. There will be people. I just don't think there's anyone immediately apparent and available. Hector says, evening Tom, I know you're speaking about it later, but I really think this potential GCW relationship could be very useful to the NXT talent in particular. More on that shortly. Spider-Boss says, people may disagree with me about Mercedes' WWE run, but I think WWE underestimated her. Despite being Grand Slam champion, she always played second place to Becky and Charlotte. Now in AEW, she is the top star second. One says, maybe Becky should hear AEW's counteroffer like Mercedes Money did. She would be able to in June. Right now, she can't. Sean, same question. Selvig says, hello Tom, hope you're well. I want to ask if there are any more contract expirations like Becky, Seth, Drew, Sheamus and Finn. At the moment, there are, but they're not public knowledge. A lot of them are lower down the card and not a priority right now. David says, since Nick Khan is supposedly exec 1 in the lawsuit, is his job in jeopardy? Yes. It was before he was identified. The entire WWE is under investigation. The WWE is in jeopardy. Joe says, I'd love to see Seth and Becky still in the WWE because Becky and Seth are popular. And Khalid enjoyed Mercedes Money on AEW CEO. Let's go. Go Ace. Spider-Boss says, watch the ratings for AEW Big Business. The lowest point was Adam Cole's segment. Samoa Joe versus Wardlow seemed lackluster. It also depends where that is on the card, let's be fair. Spider-Boss says, I put you over on X when people quoted Fightful with the Mercedes Money news, and I appreciate you for that, Spider-Boss. Things are going pretty well on X at the moment, formerly known as Twitter. There'll be a bit more of an update on that one soon, but what I will say, thankfully, a few people are starting to recognise what we're doing here, and thanks to people like yourself, Spider-Boss, the word is getting out. Aled says, did you see there were people saying Mercedes Money was being paid $10 million? There was one person saying that. It is simply not true. I can Rumi kill that right now. 81 people here, 40 likes. If we can keep that train rolling, get up to 50, chances are we'll hit 100 viewers, and before you know it, the momentum is continuing to build. So please do hit like if you haven't already. We still have plenty of news to come about the contracts, about the Mercedes reception, and so on. King Azza says, Tom, do you see The Rock versus Cody at SummerSlam for the championship when he returns from filming his movie? I see The Rock wrestling at SummerSlam. I don't necessarily think it'll be Cody just yet. Razar says, Mercedes' agent was on a podcast today, basically confirmed a lot of things he reported. Got to give you credit. Thank you, Razar. I appreciate you for saying that. Of course, we are trying to continue growing here and continually reporting the right news about Mercedes Money. I've seen people like Andrew Zarian taking a lap of honour. Credit to him. He got this one right. If I tried that, you know who'd be coming after me. Wiggly says, is The Undertaker just trolling us by suggesting he wants to return to the ring? No. Just says, have you heard if Dirty Dom is doing anything for Mane? I feel like it gets slightly, only slightly, but that... He says something about Vince Russo, and I stopped reading. HCar says, any news on Sheamus? Not at this point in time. Eric says, do you know the latest on Braun Strowman? Already been asked? Already took a note of it? Do not know. Sorry guys, we seem to be having some problems with the stream. Hopefully we're able to push through there. Not sure what's happening. I've just tried to refresh it. Please refresh yours because it just said it's saying it's coming through now, but you may experience some buffering. Apparently it's not receiving enough video. I don't know what that means and what I can do to stop it. So please let me know if it starts to work again. William says, any news on celebrities at WrestleMania? I heard rumours about Sylvester Stallone. You didn't hear them from here. Spider-Boss says, read what Meltzer said about Mercedes Money and is so inaccurate on this one. Meltzer is not doing well this week. Eric, news on Sheamus? I do not have. Tougher Eric says, hey Tom, how you doing? Doing well, thank you Eric, apart from the fact that YouTube seems to be glitching out and having some serious issues right now. I don't know what's happening. I can't really change it. The actual feed is coming through perfect. It is YouTube at the moment, unfortunately, that's having the issues. Oh, no, we do have some frames dropped. No, it does seem to be the stream itself. Not sure what's going on. We'll be pushing through and seeing how that goes. Koo says, hello, Tom. How do you think Paul Heyman will address the Brock Lesnar situation in his speech? He won't. Goes to say, Tom and chat, hope everyone's doing well. Has a quick rollout for Hall of Fame announcements without highlight videos being intentional or as a result of bad time management. I don't know what the negative really is there. It's not rushed. Triple H just wants to keep them quiet, so he doesn't release anything, and as a large part of that, he doesn't publicise what's going on to his own staff either. Yes, I will watch SmackDown. No, I won't watch it tonight. Hector says, Tom, do your knowledge have or is there a chance that WWE could look towards extending contracts in advance of expiration, maybe 6 months to a year, or will they always operate as they have? WWE will operate as they choose to when it comes to this idea of extending in advance of what that means. Spiderball says, do you know if Mercedes is the highest paid woman in the AEW women's division? Yes. Okay, DMing me to let me know I'm frozen when I'm already getting 15 messages saying I'm frozen is not the right move. Eddie says, with Mercedes, AEW cannot do a million views. What could they do? What they did. Right, now we're getting messages about the stream. I'm not sure what to do here other than stopping and restarting. 81% of frames have stopped. That's not great. That's not great at all. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to try and fix this. Stay with me. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we should now be back. This will keep the YouTube side going without necessarily having a full breakdown on that.